Example 3. Glassman Auto pays commission to its salespeople. They are paid a percent of the profit the dealer makes on the car, not the selling price of the car. If the profit is under $750, the commission rate is 20%. If the profit is between $750 and $1,000, the commission rate is 22% of the profit. If the profit is above $1,000, the rate is 25% of the profit. If X represents the profit, express the commission as a piecewise function. So this problem doesn't actually want us to solve for the commission. What it wants us to do is create a piecewise function that we can use in future examples to actually find the commission. And piecewise functions can be made up of one or more equations. In our case, we're going to use 1, 2, 3 equations. For the first equation, we need to answer the essential question, what is, and it will be 20% this time, of, and normally after this of we would put what the value is that we're going to be solving for, and since we don't know what the profit of this vehicle is, it wants us to represent X as the profit. So we're going to use the variable X as our of. So we'll set it up in the form of is of equals percent over 100. Our is unknown. It is the commission that we would earn. And in our problem, it says that it wants commission to be C of X. So we're going to say C of X there. Our of is going to be X. And the percent is going to be 20 over 100. Cross multiplying to solve for C of X, we should get a 100 times C of X equals 20 times X. We'll divide by 100 to get C of X by itself, and we should end up with C of X equals 20 divided by 100. You can use your calculator to do that, or you can try to do that in your head. Should be 0.2x. So we have a first equation that's going to go into our piecewise function. C of X equals 0.2x. For the second equation, we'll be answering the question, what is 22% of, and again it will be X because we don't know what the profit is. So what is 22% of X? Again, we'll use is of equals percent over 100. Our is going to be C of X because our commission wants to be the variable C of X equals, or I'm sorry, over our of, which our of is going to be X, equals 22 over 100. If we were to cross multiply, we're going to get 100 times C of X equals 22x, and then we'll divide by 100. And if we divide 22 by 100, you should get C of X equals 0.22x. Now I'm hoping you're starting to see a pattern here. What is 20% of X? We ended up with C of X equals 0.2x, and 0.2 is the decimal form of 20%. For equation 2, we ended up with C of X equals 0.22x, which is the decimal equivalent of 22%. So we take the decimal, 0.22, times the profit, which is X. So we should be able to assume, based on this pattern, and if we were to do this mathematically, we would end up the same thing, that our final equation is going to be C of X equals the decimal equivalent of 25%. And the decimal equivalent of 25% is 0.25. So we'll end up with 0.25x. Now that we have our three equations, C of X equals 0.2x, c of x equals 0.22x and c of x equals 0.25x, we now only need to write our piecewise function. To write our piecewise function, we're going to group all of our c of x's because they're all to the left-hand side. They all three have c of x. We can just write c of x, and I'm going to change that color. Make it black. We haven't used that yet. Equals grouping symbol, the first equation, which is c of x equals 0.2x. So that'd be 0.2x. Now in this piecewise function, we're only going to use the equation 0.2x when, and let's go back up here, when the commission rate is 20%, when the profit is under $750. So we're going to say if the profit, which is represented by the variable x, is less than $750. Then we need our second equation, which is c of x equals 0.22x. So we're going to write 0.22x if, and again we're going to have a criteria, if the profit is between $750 and $1,000. So the way we would write that is 750 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 1,000. And that tells us that if the profit is between $750 and $1,000, it is equal because it's between those two numbers, which means it can equal both of the endpoints. And the last equation is 0.25x, and it's going to be using the equation 0.25x if the profit is above $1,000. So if x is greater than $1,000. So this is our piecewise function. C of x equals 0.2x if x is less than 750, 0.22x if $750 is less than x and x is less than $1,000, and 0.25x if x is greater than $1,000.